here I go. Let me just talk to you guys about work from home. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Carol, and me and Tracy have been friends for quite a while, since the 90s. Wow, that's a long time ago. Well, anyway, I have been working at home for it's been over 15 years for me. I actually was laid off during the dot-com era, and kind of was forced into figuring out another way to make some money. So I literally got tossed at work at home, come up with something so you can make some money. So I got tossed in the whole business realm or entrepreneurial realm kind of by the seat of my pants, and I actually stayed afloat, which was a good thing. I have two professions, one that was a hobby, and then one is my business by trade, which is IT. So I've done some administrative work, some IT consulting, actual, on the ladder, in the cold room, and all of that good stuff. So I'm very well rounded in the IT realm, but now I am a part-time worker at McCormick Place. And with this whole coronavirus thing, McCormick Place is not operating right now. And also an independent contractor, which means I do daily contracts and I work at home on a regular basis. So when I'm not at home, I'm at the contract doing it, whatever I got to do. And then I have to come home and do paperwork and blah, 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 blah. My other side hustle, as you can see from behind me, is a sewing business. I had a successful sewing business for 12 years. And then we moved to the south suburbs and I lost a lot of my clientele. So I went on ahead and my husband switched jobs, which made it a little bit tough for fittings and stuff because I did mostly work for men. So my sewing has turned back into a hobby, and I no longer sew professionally anymore. And I did that here at home. This is my home studio that was created during the whole process. And boy, do I have stories that went on in this little room. So my sewing business was successful, but I decided to go ahead and toss in the towel. 2012 is when I stopped my sewing business, and then I started hard-nosed contracting in the IT world and got back out in the IT world. So that's where I am now. All my sewing is strictly on my own, and it's personal, and it's for me. Okay, so I've been reading within the group some of the things that you all have been posting, and then on some other Facebook groups and pages that I see about people working at home and the adjustments that they have to make. There are tons and tons of adjustments that you're going to need to make if you're used to going to a regular 9-to-5. And I'll explain to you the 6 things that kind of impacted me when I first started working at home and what I had to do to make things work. So my actual first work at home experience was 2002. That's probably when I started work. That's when I started working at home. There's one incident that stands out in my mind that I'll share with you all. And this is also why I'm telling you to do things. So I wrote down some bullet points. So if you want to take notes, you don't have to, but this video is going to remain in the group for you guys to refer back to, or feel free to tag me. Any questions you can ask. I have a Q&A when I'm done. You can ask any questions that you want, and I'll, feel free to, I'll answer them. Ask me whatever you can. I probably have an answer for anything. I'm sure I've been through all scenarios. Okay, now the first one that I'm going to tell you is number 1, create a space. Now, you don't have to have your own room or your own whatever. Just create a small corner in the house. If you have a spare room or an extra room that you can change into an office, or you have an office currently, that's fine. Go ahead and set that up as your workspace. Some of you have already started working at home, so you should have a designated space where you can go. I do recommend, however, that you have a door. If you can, have a door. And the reason why I say that is because a door will keep you secluded. It'll keep you focused. It also keeps a line of, I guess you can call it, a line of respect and personal privacy to anybody else's who is beyond that door. Because when the door is closed, your family knows business is in session and you are quote unquote at work. Okay. In your little safe space or where you're working, if you don't have a door, build it away from the television. Don't be in the family room. If you are in the family room, limit TV for anybody who's there or keep the TV off. Another thing I would recommend is that you have a small lamp in the area for good viewing and on your desk, even if you have really nice light coming in. And make sure you're near a bathroom. And the reason why I say make sure you're near a bathroom is because if you're working in the back of the house and you have to walk through the house to get to the bathroom, you're going to be enticed by everything you walk by. And you don't need that enticing. You need to go to the bathroom, use the bathroom, and get back to work. Not you got to walk by the refrigerator and then around past the bedroom in order to get to the bathroom. You're going to want to grab something to eat. You're going to want to sit down in your room and check this or lay down for a minute. Those things you can't do. So try and keep your space with a little lamp. You can also have a radio. That's also good. Keep the television off and try and set up somewhere near a bathroom. Okay. Number 2. I have computer program. No, what does it say? Cover program. I can't even read my own notes. Laptop or computer. Okay. A lot of you guys that are working at home may be using your own laptops or your own personal laptops, or maybe the company has sent you home and your IT group says, okay, you're going to work at home, set up this way. You're going to log in to the system, which is a VPN, and then you're going to log on to the network and you're going to do your work. If you have to share a computer, this is a personal computer with someone in your family, and you find yourself working on that computer, build yourself a profile that's password protected that nobody can get at. Then you don't have to worry about anything being deleted or anybody going through your work files. So make sure you do that. If this is, you only have one computer to share with the kids, don't use your profile. Create a profile that specifically says work. So if I have on the community computer, Carol, that's where I surf the net and shop at Macy's and do all my online shopping. Now I have one that's called Carol Work. It's password protected, and then use the word work, and the little ones won't be tempted to click on that icon. You'll be surprised how that little word work means a whole lot to anybody that's around you, and they know that that's important information that they're not supposed to bother. Okay. If you have a Wi-Fi and you have a slow Wi-Fi, I would suggest that you get a decent Wi-Fi, good download, good upload speed, not the one that's $20 a month. Go up a little bit on your Wi-Fi. That'll stop interruptions. If it rains or snows, you don't have to worry about your connection going bad, because somebody walked by or turned on the microwave. Make sure you invest in a decent Wi-Fi. That'll be better on you. And what you need to do is keep a log of how long you're going to be on the Wi-Fi, how long you're going to be on the Wi-Fi per day. Keep yourself a little log. All you got to do is jot it down. I'm on for 4 hours today. I was on 6 hours today. Also, for your cell phone usage, keep track of how often are you using your cell phone for business purposes. Or does the company have a cover software or soft key software that when you use your personal cell phone, it actually dials through a computer system that shows work information. If not, if you're using your personal cell phone, Tracy, I'll cover your question in a minute. If you are using your personal cell phone, you also need to keep track of how long you're on the phone as well, because these items at the end of the year are taxable. Even though you are working at home and you're a normal 9 to 5, somebody still has to pay those bills, and it's going to be you. So at tax time, you need to have a record of that information so you can claim your little office space for COVID-19. I'm sure that's going to be on next year's taxes. You can claim your office space, how long you were on the cell phone, how long you're on the Wi-Fi. I did a Wi-Fi upgrade. Those things you're going to be able to claim on your taxes. So just keep a small log daily of how long you're going to be on the Wi-Fi, how long you're going to be connected. Now, if the company is providing your Wi-Fi and sending you an allowance, then don't worry about claiming it on your taxes, because that does happen for some people. But if they're recommending that you get a better Wi-Fi than what you have, go ahead and invest in the better Wi-Fi. It'll be less of a headache for you. If anything happens to your computer connection, don't try and fix it yourself, especially if you're not an IT professional. Get on the phone, talk to your IT people, and if you have to wait, enjoy your downtime. Now it's time for you to go get some coffee. Then you can sneak and watch a little TV, but don't try and fix it yourself. It's the company's responsibility to keep you up online and working. And if you're having any issues, then you need to let them know what the issues are. And they're probably going to ask you, what kind of Wi-Fi are you using? Are you using a high speed? You know, do you have a cable modem? What are you using? And then you just let them know that information. 9 times out of 10, because you're working remotely, your IT staff is going to remote into your computer to see what's going on, and then you can have it fixed from that end. But don't try and fix it yourself, especially if you're not used to working at home. Definitely let them handle whatever the issue is. Tracy asks, what should your company provide for a Wi-Fi connection? Usually, if your company is sending you home with their computer, you'll probably have a Citrix program that you're going to need to log in. But as far as Wi-Fi itself, most companies are assuming that you have that capability at home. If you don't have that capability at home and you let them know, they should be sending someone out to your house to connect your equipment. I remember back in my beginning IT days, I went out to a whole lot of teleworker houses and got them set up because that was my job. It was part of what I had to do. Very rarely do they send people home that have never worked at home wondering what to do. If you are wondering what to do, then you need to call them and get specific steps on what to do to get you connected, to get you up and working. It's the company's responsibility to make sure that you know what's going on and to get you on to Wi-Fi. Okay? Now, I covered actually 3. It said fast Wi-Fi, and let your IT person help you get on with the job. All right. Number 4, this is very important, and I've been reading a whole lot of this in the group. When you work at home, you are working. So when the alarm goes off and you were tackling your 9 to 5, get up. If you had to be at work at 9 o'clock, get up at 6 or 7 like you used to. Eat breakfast, get a shower, brush your teeth, and get dressed. You don't have to put on that business casual or put on that suit, but do not put on robe, do not put on pajama, and do not put on sweats. You can go ahead and put on some blue jeans and a comfortable shirt. And a comfortable shirt, I mean, with something like what I'm wearing, or maybe a mock turtleneck, something comfy, but don't wear sweats. And the reason why I say that is because you don't ever want to be caught off guard where now we're in a position where we have to pretty much do video conferencing all the time. So you need to look presentable and you need to look like you're ready to work. You'd be surprised how many people pay attention to that. So don't get caught being late to the conference call because you got to go throw on a t-shirt because you had your robe on all day. Get up and treat your workspace like it's your workspace at work. And I always say, if you feel like you're approaching your workspace and be like, oh, I sure don't want to sit down there, then that means you're doing something right, okay? Go to your workspace, although it's in your home. When you sit down at your workspace and you snap on your light, you get your pen out, you turn your computer on and you turn your little lamp on and turn your radio on, the people around you know that it's time to work. If you have an office and you close the door, then they know it's time to work and they won't bother you. If you have kids at home, they won't bother you because they will not invade your privacy. If you feel like the kids are a little bit needy, and they are going to, you really need to have a talk with them about boundaries and let them know mommy's going to work or daddy's got to be at work. So I really can't have you disturbing me. If you have a conference call and they're playing kickball in the back and screaming and Bozo the Clown is on and the kids jumping around, everybody is going to hear it because those conference call microphones and all of that stuff on your computer, very sensitive. When you're on conference calls and you let your family know, then they respect your space. Just like before I came in here, I told my husband I'm going to be doing a live video at 6 o'clock. My door is closed. So for him, I'm working. So that doesn't mean kick open the door and be like, what we have for dinner? What time is going to eat? And so you have to make people respect your boundaries. And when you perform a certain way, even though you're not in the office and you're at home, it still will happen. Okay? Get up and get dressed. Okay. One issue that happened with me was, and this is what sticks out in my mind. I remember when I first started working at home, this is when Oprah was on. I was like, let me enjoy me some Oprah. And I was, having me a little something to eat, a sandwich and this, that, and the other. And I got a call from work and they needed me to print some stuff out. I have no printer ink. So I was like, oh man. So guess what I had to do? I had to go get up, get dressed and take a shower. I had to go to the store and buy printer ink. If I had already been dressed, I could have went, got the ink, came home and printed out what I needed to, but I had to waste time doing all that other stuff because I wasn't prepared. And then I found out after I got back, loaded my printer up, printed out everything I needed, that my client was in the area and was available to stop by. Thank God I ran out of printer ink or else I wouldn't have had any clothes on. So you always have to be prepared. And then when you get up and get ready and have your coffee and have your breakfast, you are ready to tackle the day. And speaking of food, don't come to your work area with eggs, bacon, and grits. Don't do that. The only thing I would recommend that you have in your workspace is maybe a cup of coffee or some water like you do at your regular job. Leave the egg and bacons and grits for when you get up early and you sit down and you have your breakfast, okay? And the only reason why I say don't eat eggs, bacon, and grits and all of that stuff, because if you're doing it at your, especially if you're on a community computer, the kids are going to do it. And it's going to be all kind of crap all over your laptop, all over your computer, and you don't want that. So keep your area clean, keep your area neat, just like you would if you were going to work. Okay? Another thing I want to touch on is breaks and lunch. Once you log into your computer, take your morning break. After a couple hours of work, take one 15-minute break. In the afternoon, take a 15-minute break, and then take an hour for lunch. Make sure you take that time, especially if you have other people that are at home. When you take your 15-minute break, then you can go out, get you something to drink, use the bathroom, answer a few questions, make sure the kids are doing what they're supposed to do. It'll give you a chance to kind of reboot. Then when you have your hour for lunch, eat your lunch. Don't do other things. Don't try and go shopping. Don't try and call mom. Don't do those things. Eat your lunch. After you get done eating, then you can do any kind of extracurricular, whatever it is you do, or whatever it is else you can squeeze in. If you even want to prep dinner, if you have that much time, but make sure you're not going over your hour for lunch. Log back into the system, come back to your work area and get started for work. Make sure you take that 15-minute break in the afternoon. And what happens is a lot of people think when you work at home that you don't need those breaks. Well, the reason why you need those 2 breaks in that lunch is because when you get home and you're in the comfort of your home, you work more hours and not even realize it. You'll work longer hours and you'll be tired when it's finally time to shut it all down. You'll be like, man, I didn't eat nothing. I didn't break, my legs hurt. Take your breaks and your lunch just like you do at work. And that'll keep your body on a regimented schedule. You won't feel like nap time all the time. You won't get tempted to lay down. You really have to treat your work area just as it would be if you were going into the job, okay? And the last thing that I want to touch on, and number 6, is when it's quitting time. So let's say you are off at 5 o'clock. At 4:45, start wrapping it up. Just like if you would have to go catch the train, or, you know, you got to put your boots on and put your clothes on because it's cold outside. Start wrapping it up. Make sure your desk is in order. Close out and finish anything for the day. Turn off your light, turn off your radio, and keep your area neat. If you have a laptop or whatever, say goodbye to whoever you've been communicating with online. Shut your laptop and shut it down. It's done. Don't forget about work-life balance, because when you're at home, you forget about that. You think, I'm at home. I'll go do that in a few minutes. Don't do that. You have to make sure your work-life balance is good. At 5 o'clock, it's done. Your little space, your room, shut the light off, shut the computer, and it's done until the next day, where you get up and start that routine again. Okay, so I'm going to go real quick over the 6 little steps again. The first one is create yourself a designated space where you can come and work. If you have a door area or extra room or an office already set up, that's even better. If you don't, and you have like a little space in your kitchen or space in your dining room, have it designated as your office space. Have a little radio there, have a lamp there, and people will really respect your area. If you have a community computer, create a separate profile for you to use when you log on to work, okay? Number 2, your laptop or your computer, make sure your IT people help you log in and work successfully. If you have any issues with your computer or your connections, make sure you talk to your IT staff. Don't try and fix it yourself. It's not going to do nothing but frustrate you. Okay, number 3, make sure you get some kind of fast Wi-Fi. Don't use the cheap Wi-Fi. You want a fast Wi-Fi to use when you log on and have your connections. Keep track of connection times. Keep track of the times that you use your cell phone for business, and just a little log. Make a little log at your work area, workstation, and keep track of those, because those are expenses that you can claim on your taxes at the end of the year. Okay. The next one, number 4, is to get up and get dressed. Practice the same routine you would practice if you were going into the office. Put on appropriate clothes, stay out of the robe, stay out of the pajamas, stay out of the sweat clothes. You can wear jeans, you can wear a comfortable shirt, mock turtleneck. Even if you put on a regular t-shirt and some jeans, just make sure you get dressed. Now, if you want to wear house shoes or have bare feet, that's up to you, because it takes 2 seconds to put on socks and shoes to get out of the house. But you need to be prepared to leave the house in case you need to get work supplies or you run out of paper. You need to be prepared to not spend a whole lot of time out of the house getting things. You don't want to add getting dressed and brushing your teeth and combing your hair. That just takes even longer. Get up in the morning, do that stuff, and get it out of the way. Okay, number 5, take 2 breaks, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and make sure you eat your lunch. Eat your food, people. Working at home is daunting. You have to eat your lunch, okay? And then number 6 is finish the day. Turn your light off. Shut your laptop, shut your computer, clean up your space, and vacate your space for the rest of the day. All right, that is it. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to tag me on this video. This video will be up in the group. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And I guess that's it. I don't see any questions. So that'll be it. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Bye.